Oh, hello to everyone out there. This is Arthur, screenwriter, short filmmaker, and computer expert Dewey B. Reynolds. Hello, I hope everyone is having a lovely day today, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I am so excited. I'm just now getting my YouTube channel off the ground, and the first video that I would like to present to you is a video that I would like to entitle Who Killed Jeffrey Epstein? That's a question that remains in the minds of a lot of people. Who was the person or the people behind Jeffrey Epstein's death? Let me show you a book that I read, very informative book too. It's called A Convenient Death, the Mysterious Demise of Jeffrey Epstein. Very good book. It is by the authors Alana Goodman and Daniel Halper. And I read the book within about 2 days. Very informative, very enlightening, very eye opening. It did teach me a lot of things about what may have really happened to Jeffrey Epstein. And to this day, there are still a lot of unanswered questions. What really happened? Let me read to you an excerpt from the book. There's several excerpts, but let me start with this one right here. Okay. It says, there, Epstein awaited his federal trial at the penitentiary that previously safely housed drug lords El Chapo, mafioso John Gotti, um, terrorists, Al Qaeda operatives, Ponzi schemers, Bernie Madoff, and fraudsters, Paul Manafort. The former President Bill Clinton was being hammered in the press for taking multiple trips on Epstein's private Boeing 727, nicknamed the Lolita Express. Prince Andrew's position in the royal family was in jeopardy after photos emerged of him with his hand around the waist of one of Epstein's alleged underage sex slaves. President Donald Trump was being scrutinized for his social outings with Epstein in the 1990s, and a handful of other political figures. The former Senator George Mitchell, the former Governor Bill Richardson, and the former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak also face allegations for their involvement with Epstein. Now, let me ask this question. They named these individuals. Does anyone out there watching this video believe that Prince Andrew, Donald Trump, President Clinton, George Mitchell, Bill Richardson, Ehud Barak, and Jeffrey Epstein himself were all involved with the sex trafficking and sexual relations with underage girls? That's a big question that a lot of people want to ask. Um, Supposedly, Jeffrey Epstein had a lot of damaging information that could be brought into a court of law that can be met with a burden of proof that could bring serious charges against those individuals. And we wonder to this day, because of the information that Jeffrey Epstein had, did it cost him his life? That's another thing. Now, let me read another excerpt, again from a book called A Convenient Death, The Mysterious Demise of Jeffrey Epstein. All righty. Very good book. I would encourage you to go out and get it if you're wondering what may have happened to Epstein. Okay. All right, let's read this excerpt from the book. The doctors also noticed there was no sign in the legs of a purplish marbling effect known as lividity. This is typically seen when blood settles in the lower extremities after death. The lividity and settling of blood is normally on the lowest part of the body, said Dr. Michael Bott. If he dies hanging, the lividity is both front and back on the legs because that's where the blood settles. And in this instance, there was no such lividity present so it doesn't look like a normal traditional hanging. When the pathologists looked under the skin, they found something else, an anomaly that Bodden said that he had not seen before in his 60-year career. There were three separate fractures in the front of Epstein's neck, the left and right cartilage, also known as the Adam's apple, and a horseshoe shaped bone under the chin called the hyoid. Okay. You all, I don't know if you all know that Dr. Michael Bodden is probably one of the most renowned forensic pathologists that has ever lived. He did autopsy for John F. Kennedy. He did autopsies for Nicole Simpson Brown. And the list goes on. A lot of gangsters, politicians, movie stars. This man is one of the best in the business. Do you hear me? One of the best in the business. He looked at Jeffrey Epstein's body and he talked about lividity. And he basically is saying there is no way that Jeffrey Epstein could have killed himself. Therefore, his neck was broken, the hyoid bone in the neck. He did not hang himself. No, no. Don't believe that for 1 second. But there are those who believe that he was suicidal. They kept him on suicide watch. Okay, let's go to another excerpt in the book. All righty. Okay. Okay, I like this little excerpt. Let me read this. Bullshit. He was murdered, one close friend who knew him for decades asserted in an interview. I can't imagine that thought of suicide crossing his mind. The man could afford all the lawyers in the world. The day before that suicide, he had met with his lawyers for 8 hours, said the friend. Those lawyers were certainly given hope for what he could do, but more importantly, he knew he could buy his way out of a lot of shit. Okay, see, I was telling you. Epstein was not suicidal. They want the world to believe that he was suicidal. Jeffrey Epstein was not suicidal. Okay, let's go to another excerpt. All right. All righty. A lot of good information in this book. Very good read. Okay, this one talks about his pimp, his enabler, um, his recruiter, Ghislaine Maxwell, who is doing prison time right now, as we know. Okay, this is a short excerpt. Maxwell fed one of Epstein's needs. It was roughly around the time that he got her to satisfy another. Epstein would provide the money Maxwell desired to live the lifestyle she sought. Maxwell, in turn, would provide young girls for Epstein. Let me read this one. George Horaney, the director of the American Dream Calendar Girls Pageant, said in an interview that he was forced to ban Epstein from his events in the early 1990s after he started preying on the contestants, some of whom were as young as 15. Okay, yeah. My understanding is that Ghislaine Maxwell was recruiting girls as young as 14 years old for Jeffrey Epstein. She wanted, I think in the book it says that she once brought him a lady of age. She was of legal age, 23, and he told her she was much too old for him. He liked them very young. The younger, the better. So Ghislaine Maxwell, as we all know, is serving time in the federal penitentiary for her role as Jeffrey Epstein's, like I said, pimp, enabler, recruiter. Okay? So, with that said, what do? We still wonder. We still we still cannot fathom what really happened to Jeffrey Epstein. And the question that I have is Ghislaine Maxwell holding secrets of her own? Will she not explain what really happened to Jeffrey Epstein, or will she take those secrets to the grave with her? Let me read you one more excerpt out of this book. All right, let's see if I can find a good one, because I highlighted quite a bit of stuff in this book. Oh, here's a good one. Here's a good one. On March 18th, 2020, Ghislaine sued Epstein's estate for legal and private security fees. In the lawsuit, filed in the U.S. Virgin Islands, she said Epstein had promised in 2004 that he would always support her financially. Meanwhile, many speculated that her old flame, Bill Clinton, was involved in Epstein's death, perhaps because the Clintons feared he would reveal their secrets. Wow, what do you think? Could Bill and Hillary Clinton could have been involved in Jeffrey Epstein's death? Could Donald Trump have possibly been involved in Jeffrey Epstein's death? Could Prince Andrew of the royal British family could have possibly been involved in Jeffrey Epstein's death? Could a host of movie stars, politicians, billionaire businessmen, just upper crust society people, could they have been involved in Jeffrey Epstein's death? Will we ever know? Very good question. It remains a mystery. It always makes you think, will we ever know who was behind John F. Kennedy's assassination, Dr. Martin Luther King's assassination, Robert Kennedy's assassination, Malcolm X's assassination, behind the assassination of many other notable people throughout history? And Jeffrey Epstein was pretty much, as you would say, notoriety. He was notorious. I don't think he was a very beloved figure, really, among people of high moral standards. But yes, I just wanted to make this video to see what you think. And if you do like the videos, please like, subscribe, share, comment. I appreciate it. This is, again, author, screenwriter, short film maker, and computer expert Dewey B. Reynolds. And the book that I read excerpt from is called A Convenient Death: The Mysterious Demise of Jeffrey Epstein. Thank you for visiting my YouTube channel, and I appreciate you stopping by. And there will be more videos in the future. And please, like I said, like, subscribe, share, comment. I appreciate it. I'm building my channel right now. And God bless everyone. And I will talk to you soon. Bye bye.